Hi folks, this is Karim Rao from IT Visualizer channel. Today we'll continue our lab, the COVID-19 lab. This is the video number 19. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been planning to deploy a number of softwares to a large number of PCs in our domain, and we have used two methods to achieve this goal. First of all, we have used the group policy, and then we have inserted in the group policy the softwares that we need it to be deployed to our computers or our workstations. This is one method, and we have discussed it in details in the previous two videos. And then we have used a second method, which is through a software called PDQ. This PDQ software has two versions, one the free version and the paid version. The free version gives you a limitation to 25 PCs, so you can deploy a large number of software only to 25 PCs. This is the free version. As for the paid version, you can install a large of softwares to unlimited number of PCs. Anyway, so we have used the free version, and we have inserted in the program of PDQ the software VLC, which is a kind of media player, which is a free or an open source. We need it to be deployed to 4 devices in the domain. So far, the 4 workstations that we have created, the 2 domain controllers and the 2 workstations. Okay, and we have also defined in the software, after inserting the program, we have defined the target PCs that we need this software to be deployed to. Okay, and we began the process, and through the program we have monitored the process of the deployment. Okay, and it was very easy, and we have monitored the deployment second by second, and at the end we have printed a report with the status of the deployment for the 4 PCs. We have 3 PCs that was successful and 1 was not successful. The one that was not successful because it was turned off. Okay, so this is briefly the process. Every computer took about average of 6 minutes of deployment. Okay, this because you are in a virtual environment. Maybe when we are in a physical environment and your data transfer or your cabling and your environment, this process could be less, or the duration or the deployment process could be less in time. Anyway, so after the deployment is finished, we go and check the workstations and domain controllers and see if the VLC is installed or not, and actually it was installed. And then we go to one of the workstations and we run the command gp update/force. Why we do this? To enforce the group policy that we have configured earlier to deploy a certain number of softwares. This is the first method of deployment, and we have a note. When we go to the workstation, we see that the software that we have put in the group policy to be deployed, it was not successfully installed. The PDQ method was successful, but as for the group policy method, it was not successful, and we have seen an error saying that this group policy should be deployed, or you should leave the PC after enforcing this group policy for a number of minutes until the software is installed, and then you can log into the machine and see the effect. And actually this will not be successful from the first time, so you need to restart the PC a certain amount of times, maybe 2 or 3 times, and type the gp update/force until you see the effect of the group policy deployment, until you see the softwares that you are planning to deploy it using the group policy. Okay, so the method of deploying software using the group policy, it is not immediate effect, or you can't see its immediate effect. You need to leave it for some time, and you don't have a tool to monitor the process of the deployment. So this is two things are 2 limitations for using the group policy method for deployment. So I prefer the PDQ, but if you don't have a PDQ, so you can use the group policy, but you have to wait and you have to monitor the process, okay, manually through every PC. So after that, we have a situation that we have a user in the domain, and we are suspecting that he is making some activity. We are illegal activity, getting some data outside the company, or doing something we don't know. So we need, or you as an IT are given a task to have a full report, or to give the GM a full report about this user and what he was doing on his PC. So we need a full report about his browsing history, his search history on the internet, the activity on his PC, what files he has opened, and what and when he did login. Okay, so we will use two things. First of all, we have created earlier some custom views on the domain controller, and these custom views are categorized according to certain criteria. So for example, we have all of the logs concerning the users, or concerning the users log into the machines, are in one log or in one location, and then the files that the users have accessed, this is also in another section in the event viewer. So we will check this custom view logs and see when the user have logged into the machine and what files he has accessed. And by the help of some other tools, fantastic tools actually, from the Nearsoft website, we got a very detailed report about what this user has done. So we will have all of these reports combined in one Excel sheet. So we have 4 reports. We will combine them in one Excel sheet, and we will organize them, and then we will present it to our GM. So all of this organization and combination are done using the Power Query option, which is a very good tool to combine and organize data. It is very useful and it saves a lot of time. Anyways, we have done this in the previous video. This video we will talk about a very important concept. We all have purchased a laptop, for example, a new laptop, or most of us has laptops. So when you purchase a laptop, for example, an HP or a brand laptop, you got the laptop with the Windows installed on it and with the application. So you purchase the laptop with the Windows installed on it, and the applications all are provided by the manufacturer. Okay, so in most of these global brands, something like HP and Dell, they have an option. If your system is corrupted or there is a problem with your system, you just click or do something called a factory recovery setting or a factory reset recovery setting. What this will do, it will reinstall the operating system from scratch, or it will restore a copy or an image of the Windows automatically just by clicking one key. So for example, if your system is corrupted, you just reboot the laptop and then click F11, so it will begin running the software of the manufacturer, and it will recover an image of the Windows with all of its applications and give you a fresh start again. So this is called factory recovery image. So, and this is done by one key. It's called one key factory recovery images. Why it's one key? Because you just click on one key and then you begin recovering an image that contains the Windows and all of the softwares again. Okay, so this is a very good option, because when you have any, for example, virus or something and you need to reinstall the system, or you to recover an image of the system, okay, you don't need to go to the IT and then get the image and then begin installing the image. No, all of this will be done from the PC. You just click on one key and then the image, it is locally stored on the laptop, and it is on a partition that it is hidden, or it's not available for the user, so there is no worry that the user can delete or a virus can affect this image. So the image will be restored, and all of this will be done automatically without the user feeling it. So we need to do something like this. We need to make a custom image. So we will have a PC and we have all of our software installed on it, and the necessary things we need on the Windows are installed. We will take an image and then we will make this image to be installed by clicking on one key only when there is a problem with our current system. We will see this, how this is done. We can do it by two methods. First of all, we will use a program called AIOEM software, and we will use the Windows reset image. Okay, so we will use the two methods. In this lab, we will use the first method, which is called factory recovery image, we will use this, or we will make this step using a software called AIOEM. There is a free version of this software and there is a paid version, so we will install the free version and use it, and I will show you all how we can do this. Okay, so let's go and open our video and see how we will make this one key factory recovery image. So let's continue here. We will open the VM Workstation Pro. So this is good, and first of all we need to have one question: why we can do this, or when we can do some option like this. For example, if you have 10 or 12 laptops in your domain, and these are for the sales team, so they are traveling with their laptop, okay, and you cannot reach them in the perfect time because they are traveling. So if anything happened to the laptop while they are traveling, so they will contact you as an IT and you will try to help. But what if there is a virus or there is a corrupted system and the sales team or the sales member need to work on his PC? So it is a good option to put the factory recovery image on the laptop of the sales team, so when there is a problem with his current system, he just need to click on one key to have a fresh image installed and recovered for him, so he can work and do his work. So this is good for laptops and for members that are traveling outside your company, okay, or they are always traveling and you can't reach them easily, or for example there is no internet in the location that they are traveling to, so this will be much more help for them. So let's continue with our video. But what about the desktops in your environment? Is this good locally, to be done locally on your desktop PCs? I don't think this is a good option. You can use another method called Windows Deployment Server. So when there is a problem with one of your PCs or desktops in your environment, this there is a problem with one of your desktop systems in your domain, you can use the WS to deploy a new system from the beginning, or you can go manually to the user and deploy the image. But there is I prefer the WS solution, and I have a complete lab on how to make auto deployment for PCs and servers, or for PCs especially, using the WDS and the MDT. This is called the DC Comics lab. Please refer to it. It's a very good lab how to deploy operating systems for a large number of PCs at once. So let's continue our lab and see how we will do the one factory recovery option. So here we will use, or we will go and open this virtual machine, and we will add so here first we will need to increase the RAM. Here first of all I will need to decrease the RAM from this virtual machine and add it to this virtual machine, because I have limited amount of RAM, so I need some RAM to be added to this. So I will take a part of the RAM allocated for this virtual machine and put it to the other machine, and then we will add an additional hard disk. I will show you. Well, first of all I will decrease the RAM. Here I'll give it 1 GB of RAM, and then I will go to the other virtual machine and increase the RAM, and we will add an additional hard disk and make it as one partition, and this partition will contain the recovery image partition, or the recovery image image. Okay, so here we will add another hard disk, okay, and we will make it 100 gigabytes. Okay, this recovery partition will contain the recovery image. Okay, so this partition will contain the recovery image that we'll use to recover the PC. Okay, so here we will add the second hard disk to the folder that contains the virtual machine. So here this is the folder for the virtual machine, and we will add the second hard disk to it. Okay, and then tell him finish, and then okay. Now we need to open the virtual machine and begin working with making the image. We will back up the virtual machine, or we back up this PC and make an image from it, and then use this image as a recovery image. So let's wait and see how this will done. And you need to go to the AIOEM website and download the free version and actually it's called one key recovery, okay, or one key. So you will install or you will get this one key software, or let me show you all how we can get it. So let's wait for a moment. Here we will go and get this software. It's called one key free. So here this is one key recovery, AOMEI. So this is it. This is called one key. So let's see here, where is the download section. So let's go and close this one, and here this is called, or this is a brief about the one key recovery. So system crash and boot failure are common issues encountered by computers. So there is crashes or a lot of crashes. If you are using Lenovo, Dell or HP, you can find a built-in system backup and recovery. So this is done by manufacturers, as I said before. What if you want to create a restore partition on computers of other brands, or you need to have a factory restore partition or your local PCs in the domain? How we can do this? So we will use AOM one key recovery. It will help you in this situation. It is easy and safe. At the same time, it allowed you to back up the operating system to your own factory recovery partition. So we have added another additional hard disk, and this will be the recovery partition. And then when the computer fails, all you need to do to restore this image from the recovery partition is to click F11 or to press F11. So where is the free one? Let's see here. So this is the downloads, and then we can go to the AOM. So let's hear, this is the freeware. Just a moment. So where is the recovery AOM? So it is not this one. Let's go to the backup software. It is the one key. Okay, here it goes. And then we need to not to get the demo, but there is a free version of it. So let's see where it is. Okay, here we can see that there is a free one. Just a moment. One key, here we go. Okay, one is one key. Okay, just a moment. Try demo. Not demo, there is a free one. So it's okay. Let's okay, let's see here. Okay, one key free download. Okay, here you go. This is the one key free edition. Let's see here how we can download it. This is Major Geeks. This is another website. So let's see here. So here, download. Okay, this is the free version. So let's see if we can download now from the website. So here, download. So here, this is the free key one. Okay, you can get it from this website or from the website itself, but anyway, I have downloaded from here, and then we can begin working with the software. So let's begin and see. Let's go there. So I think they have removed the free version, but there is some websites that still provide the free version of this software. So you can try the demo, or you can get the free one. Okay, and I will show you another free method you can apply, like using this software but using the Windows reset image. So let's see how this is done. First of all, we are booting the virtual machine, and then also I can upload this software on a Google Drive link, and I will put it in the description of the video so you can all use it. Anyway, we will continue. So let's complete here. Just a moment. So here we will log in now. Then here what I have done, let's have a little trick here. When you put /, that means that you are logging in locally on the machine, not through the domain. So this is also trick. If you need to log in locally with a local user on the machine and not to the domain, you put /, so it will change the name of sign in to the domain and will put the machine name. Okay, so this is also another trick. So let's continue. Then we will log in. See, it will take a little bit of time, but we can get it more quickly here. So now here is the first of all what I have done. I have cleared, or just a moment. So here the first thing I need to do is to hide the Cortana search, because I need to take an image without this appearing. So I will right click and then tell him search and then hide. So I will take an image without this toolbar appearing. It takes a lot of the RAM, so I'm just hiding it. Actually, I don't need this step because there is a script in the Active Directory that will hide this Cortana toolbar anyway. So now we will go and get, or we will install the OneKey software from EMI, and there is also the same done using the Acronis. So the Acronis does the same process, okay, but it is paid. So here we will, what we'll do, we will take a snapshot before taking the image. I need to have a backup, or I will take a snapshot of this virtual machine before taking image from it using the AOEM software, because if anything happens we can return back. Anyway, we will go to the folder that is shared between my laptop and this virtual machine, and you will take the AOM OneKey recovery software and the Acronis. We have the two software, and we need also the newly added hard disk. We need to initialize it and make the Windows recognize it and make it as one partition. Okay, so we will do both steps, but wait for a moment. So here we will open the folder shared between my laptop and the virtual machine, and we will get the software of AOEMI. So we will take it. Here is the true image, or Acronis, and we will take the OneKey software. So this is another software, so you can use the Acronis for doing the same process. So you will have the Acronis, but here I am using the AOEMI OneKey, okay, because it is a free version. So here we will begin the process. This is the Acronis, but we will not use it. And then we have the program of AOEMI. Open, okay, and then we will get also the OneKey recovery software. Okay, here it's called OneKey, so we will get it and copy it to the machine. So here you go, it is in the folder of group policy templates. It's called OneKey. This is OneKey free. It's 18 megabyte, and I have showed you all how you can download it. Anyway, we'll go and put it to the local hard disk of the machine, and then we need to initialize the added, or the newly added partition, and make it, or the newly added hard disk, sorry, and make it one partition. So we can go and right click and tell him to have the compute or disk management console, and then we need to initialize the hard disk. So here we will see that the first thing you will have a notification that there is a hard disk. We need to initialize it, so it is initialized, and this is unallocated space. We will have a new simple volume and tell him next, and then we will have it as one partition, and we will name it recovery partition. Okay, so this is one, and we will format it as NTFS. So we'll save our captured image for this PC on this partition. Okay, and then finish. So this is it. And then after that I can show you all a way to hide this partition from the user, but anyway we will not hide it now. And then I need to change the drive letters. What I am doing here, I am just need this partition not to be taken F letter, I need it to take an E letter, and but the E letter is taken for the CD-ROM, so I will change the drive letter for the CD-ROM and give it G, and then change the drive letter of this partition and give it E. But take care, do not make this for this partition unless the partition doesn't have any programs or any data installed on it. So this is only done when the partition is empty. Okay, so you need to be very careful about this. So we will change it and give it the G letter, and then we will go and give it the this partition an E, and actually I need this to take an F, so we can change the G to an F again. Anyway, I need it to be in order, so I need to the letters to be in order. This is only something to organize the work. Okay, so here we have the E partition, and then we will begin the installation of the EOM1 recovery software. So this is a very good option to be used on laptops, okay, and I do not prefer this to be done on desktops. First we will take a snapshot, so we are taking a snapshot before doing anything, so before installing the one key recovery software, before imaging, so we'll take a snapshot. So if we need to return back or we need to undo what we have done, so now after finishing the snapshot taken, or the snapshot is taken, now we will install the software. So we now open the D partition and install the one key partition, or the one key software. So now we will install it. Then it will ask first of all, it tell you next, and then it will begin the installation, accept, and then next, and then it will choose the location to install the software, and then create a shortcut on the desktop, and then next, and then install. So now the software is installed, or it is installed. And then it will take a little bit of time, but at the end the software will finish installation, and it will begin asking a couple of questions. It will ask you where to save the image. So it will take an image, it will ask you where to save this image. So let's wait and see. Finish, and then we will open the software. So it's called AOMEI One Key Recovery 1.6.2. So it says make your recovery or factory recovery partition and one key backup your system. Okay, so it will, you can back up your system by pressing F11, as we will see now, or restore your system by pressing F11. So you will wait and see how this is done. So this is the way we can make a factory recovery partition or factory recovery image. First of all, we need to go and tell him again. So we'll tell him to backup. First of all, we need to click on the option of one key backup. So we'll backup the system first, and then it have two options. One said backup system to AOEM one key recovery partition. So here he will make, or he will choose, he will make a recovery partition and choose its location automatically. He will make this without your interference. So he will recommend or he will go to a certain partition and take a part of it and make it as a recovery partition. I will show you all this option now because I don't need this option, but this is the only available one in the free version. Okay, we will, if you are in a production environment, we will use the second options, but let's see what happened when we use the first option. When we use the first option, okay, what will happen? Let's wait and see. So if we use the first option and tell him next, I will show you all what this partition. So here what he will do, he will go to the C partition. This is the partition that contains my operating system. He will take a part of this partition and make it as the recovery partition. Okay, as for me, this is not the best solution. I don't need him to take any space of the partition allocated for the system. I need him to take, or I have a dedicated or an allocated space for the recovery partition, and it is named recovery partition. So I needed the image to be taken there, okay, or the image to be taken there. So this is not recommended. I recommend it to be taken on another partition, not the partition that contains the operating system. Anyway, he will not make the recovery partition here. He will take a part of this partition and make it in a separate partition and make it the recovery partition. Anyway, I don't need this method, but this is the free one, so we don't have any choice. So if you are in production, we will use the second option. So let's go. I will tell him to go back. So here, so if you are in a production environment, we will tell him to use, or tell him back. Okay, what we will do, we will tell him back and then use the E partition that we have created now and put it there. Okay, and as we see here, this is in this, not disk 0, this is on disk 1. Actually, he didn't get us disk 1 because here this is the limited edition. So here we can see this is the backup to other location. This is the one. So here what you will see, what here he's saying that this is the free edition. It doesn't support backup system to other location, restore system by selection and image file, change the compression level, enable encryption for a backup. So all of these are opened in the paid version. So you need to upgrade it anyway. So when you are planning to do this in a production environment, you need to back up your operating system or make your recovery image on another partition, and especially on the E partition that we have done, and then show you all how we can hide this partition from the user after that. Anyway, actually, if we use the first option, the partition that will be taken by this software and put the recovery image on it, this partition will be hidden. You will not see it. So I will show you all also how this, or we will see it later. So let's wait and see. So we'll tell him okay, and then we'll begin using the first method. Okay, and then backup. So we will use the first one, and then we will let him choose the C partition. So this is the only available partition. All of the others are dimmed, so we can't choose any partition. And then we tell him start the backup. So he will begin the backup process, but before beginning the backup process, he will take a part of this partition and make the recovery partition, and then put the image on it. It will be about 11 gigabytes. Okay, so also this I can't control. So the backup is about to start. Some operations require the system to be rebooted and to go into Windows PE. We will see what is the Windows PE, but what do I mean by Windows PE? Windows PE, it is a small version of Windows that will be used by this software, so it can begin the process of the backup. So he will not back up the system while it is running. He need to go out of the system and back it up before logging in or before loading the system itself. We will show you all what I mean by this. So here it is marking the partition, and then he will begin allocating space from the partition C. We will see all of this after it finish. We will see how this is appearing, or how this will be done. So now he is beginning the process of the system backup and allocating and creating the recovery partition. So it will take a little bit of time, so we can wait here and see. So now what he will do, he said that writing partition layout. So all of this are to take a part of the C partition and make the recovery partition, and he is writing some lines to the boot configuration file, and I'll show you all what we mean by this. When we boot or when we restart, it will not go to the Windows directly, it will give us two options. So this, because he has changed something in the boot configuration file. I'll show you all what we mean by this when we boot this system. So let's wait and see. We will make a reboot and we will see what this software has done. So we'll tell him complete and then finish. Here it will make a restart. So this software has take a part of the C partition and make it as a recovery partition, and it changed the boot options, okay, of the Windows. So now you will not boot directly, or will not load the system Windows 10 directly. You will have two options: to load the Windows 10 operating system, or to go to the EOAM recovery option, or the recovery software. So let's see this one, or you can press F11 from the start. Let's wait and see how this is done. So restart, and then let's see here, it will begin loading. So here it's going to, it's not going to the Windows, now it's going to the EOAM recovery or EOAM one key software. So let's see what he is doing now. So now he have the first step, he has made his recovery partition, and then he will back up the system and put it on this recovery partition. So let's wait and see the process. So here, what is the Windows PE? If you see the Windows PE, a Windows PE, it is a small system, okay. This system he uses to take an image of the operating system. So this is a small system, okay, so he cannot take copy of the system while it is running, okay, or he cannot make an image of the system while it is running. So he need to have a software that will be loaded before the operating system is loaded, and then he can take an image of the operating system. So let's wait and see what this software will appear to be. So let's wait and see. Okay, and I have that like this one, and okay, and we can go here and the system will begin loading. So this is the EOMEI one key recovery, so it will begin loading, and then adjusting partition layout to save the backup image. So now he is preparing the recovery partition, and he is taking an image, or he is saving the backup image to the recovery partition. So this is the step. We will wait, and then we will make a test recovery. So we will recover the image that we have taken, but wait for a moment. We will do this to test our recovery image. So here he is adjusting the partition to save the backup image, and then he will begin taking the image. So after taking the image, we need to make a recovery of this image. So now he's creating the boot. So here he's playing with the boot file to add a second option, that if we need to go, or we need to continue loading the operating system, or we need to go to the recovery option if our system is failing. So now we will go and complete. So now what he have done, let's wait here for a moment. So here he is backing up the C partition. So all of this, he is backing up the storage device, backing up the volume 0, this is the C volume, and then I think this volume 0, this is the boot partition. So he is backing up the boot partition, and or the system partition, and not system, it's not called system recovery partition, and the C partition. So he is backing up all of this. So let's wait and see how this is done. So now the backup process is initialized. So it will take a little bit of time, so we can pass it real quickly here. It's 88, 89, 90, 90, and just a moment again, sorry, so it's 90%. I think it's paused, maybe no, it's playing, so we will wait until it's finished. And after this is finished, you will see something like this. It will reboot, and then you will have two options. So here we can see Windows 10. So if you restart your machine after the backup process is finished, you will have two options. It will not go directly to the Windows operating system. We'll have two options: continue to Windows 10 or enter AOMEI recovery key system. Okay, so by default it will go to the Windows 10. It will choose the first one. If you need to choose the second one, you can use the arrow keys. Okay, or you can before this menu appears, it will give you an option to press F11 to go to this option directly without having to choose. Okay, so let's choose the second one. So you can go to this one. Okay, and then we will begin the recovery process. So you can use one of them and begin the recovery process, but I'll just show you the recovery process, but we will not recover the image now. We will do some changes in the Windows, and then we will begin the recovery image. So here we can see that again, sorry, if you can see here this option, it gives you to press F11. So you can press F11, okay, and not go to this menu as a whole. You can press F11 to go to the recovery directly. So this is the option that this software is specialized in it, to make one key recovery process by pressing F11. So this is it. Now we will go and begin the process. Actually, I will show you the recovery process menu, but we will not recover the image now. We will go and make some changes to the Windows operating system and then restore the image to see the difference. Okay, so now it will load the AOEM recovery software. As you can see here, it will load the system of AOMEI. So now we will wait for a moment, and then we can pass this real quickly. Okay, and again the software will begin loading. Okay, you need to restore your system. So now he will ask you, do you need to restore your system? You can tell him no or yes and use this one. So you can tell him yes and go to this one, or you can click on this one. So tell him yes, he will recover, or you click on this one. So we will close the system as a whole, because I will not recover the image now. So as soon as I close the program, he will restart the machine and he will go to the Windows 10, but he will not go directly. He will ask if you need to continue to load the Windows 10 or to use the AOEM recovery software. So here we can see that this will be always a regular option. So now this will appear directly here. it is choosing the Windows 10 as the default choice. So if you leave it, it will go directly to Windows 10. It will gives you about 10 seconds or something to change your mind. Okay, so anyway, we will leave it, and then we will go to the Windows and begin uninstalling a couple of programs, and then recover the image to see if these programs will return back, because we took the image with this software already installed. So we can pass it real quickly here. We will go like this, and we will go there, then we will log in locally using a local user on the machine, and then we can log in directly. Okay, so now I will just install or uninstall a couple of software before restoring the image. Okay, so here let's see where is the partition that the software has put the image in, or where is the partition that the software had put the image in. Sorry, I am repeating myself. Anyway, so we will open the disk management and see where is the image saving. Okay, so let's wait and see. First of all, we will go to the disk management, and let me show you what happened. So here, what happened? There is a partition called EOMEI recovery partition. So this is a partition, and this is another partition. These two partitions doesn't appear for the user. So what appears for the user is the C and D and E. As for these two partitions created by the software, they will not appear for the user. Actually, they don't have even a letter. So without having a letter, it will not be accessible for the user. Okay, so here these are two hidden from the user. Okay, so we can do the same process for the recovery partition that we have created manually. After putting the image on it, we can just remove the drive letter from it. Okay, and actually this is very simple to do, and then we can make the software go and change, or we can make the software install or recover the image from this partition. Anyway, so this is what happened. He has took about the recovery partition about 11 gigabytes. So my partition was 83 or 83 gigabyte. He have took 11 gigabytes for the recovery partition and put the image on it. And this is another one for the Windows PE, or the small booting system. Okay, for the AOM. Okay, and this is how it's done. So let's make a test. So let's see if we can restore this image. So first we need to uninstall a couple of software and then restore the image. So let's wait and see if we can just bypass this real quickly. Okay, so now what I'm doing here, I'm just personalize, right click and personalize, and have some icons appearing on the desktop. I need to have the control panel and a couple of icons to appear. So we'll go to themes, and then we will add the control panel and some icons, because I need to access the programs and features from the control panel to uninstall a couple of software. So now we will have the control panel appearing, the network, the user files. Okay, and then we will begin the uninstalling of the software. So now we have it, and then we'll get to program and features. Okay, and then we'll uninstall a couple of programs. So we will, for example, uninstall the Edge, for example. So we tell him uninstall. So I need to uninstall any program just to make sure that the image is working. So we uninstall the Microsoft Edge. So it will take a little bit of time. So you can install any programs from here. Okay, and then let's go there and continue. So we uninstall the Edge. Okay, and let's go further. So we are installing the Firefox now. So we have first what we have done, we have uninstalled the Edge. Okay, and then we will uninstall the Firefox. Okay, so the Edge is already uninstalled, and then we'll uninstall the Firefox. So there is a couple of programs to be uninstalled, so we'll uninstall, and then we restore the image to see if the Firefox will return back. Okay, so now we have installed the Firefox, finish, and we can uninstall PowerShell, so we can uninstall it also as well. So if there is a problem, still the uninstallation process is not finished anyway, so you can install any programs you need from here, and then we will make a refresh, or sorry, here we will install the PowerShell. So now we are installing the PowerShell, uninstalling the PowerShell. So we are uninstalling a couple of programs, and then when we restore the image, we will see if these programs will return back. Okay, so now we are installing the PowerShell. So it will take a little bit of time. Now we can go and restart the machine and then access the EOEM recovery software. Actually, in a virtual machine I can't press F11, so in a physical machine you can do this, but from a virtual perspective here I can't throw this software to press F11, so I will use the menu that we have seen earlier to access the EOEM software. So this is also a good option for the software. He is not only limiting you for the recovery through the one key process, but you can use a menu as well. So here I cannot press F11, because if I press F11 it will, here you can see it's playing with the light of the laptop, so it doesn't affect here F11. Okay, so it does not take effect. So now we will go and choose the one recovery software. It will take a little bit of time. So here it will give us the menu, so you can access the EOEMI option from the menu or by pressing F11. So here we will go there, and then we'll begin recovering the partition, or recovering the operating system now. So now it will restart, and then it will go to the software, and then we will begin the recovery process. So here I think we can pass also this real quickly, because we don't need all of this. So here is the software, and it will take some time, so we can go there also. Okay, here you go, and it will begin loading the software. And then it will ask you to restore. Okay, so we will tell him yes this time, and then he will tell you or ask you what partition you need to restore, and actually it will give you only one partition, which is the C drive that we have already taken an image from. So you can tell him load, okay, and wait for a moment, and then do you want to restore? So tell him yes, we need to restore. And then here what he's saying that the program will use the backup EOM one key recovery partition. So he will go to the one key recovery partition that was made and restore from it the image that was also taken by the software. Okay, your system has been marked as the highlighted partition as shown, and it will be overwritten. So he knows that he will restore these two. This is the two that will be restored. This is the boot partition, I think, or the system reserved partition, and the operating system. So he will restore these two. Okay, so now we tell him start restore, and then we will see. So now we will see after the restoration what will happen. So I think he is having here is giving it an H drive, but this is seen through the software itself. It's not appearing in the Windows. Okay, so now it will begin the recovery process. So now he is restoring, partition restoring. He will begin copying the data. It will take a little bit of time, so the restoring process will take some time, so we can cover it real quickly. So now it's 100%. Okay, so now we will, after finishing, we will close the software, and then we will see if the recovery is successful or not, and we will see the softwares that we have uninstalled previously, if they will appear or not. So now now it will ask again for the menu. We will tell him to Windows 10, and then we will go and log in. So it will take a little bit of time. So okay, as a best practice, you need to update this recovery image frequently, so you can take regular backups of the operating system and put it in the recovery image, or make this image as a recovery image and update it on the created partition by the software. So you need to update the recovery image frequently, maybe every 3 months or every year. So this recovery image will be frequently updated. So we will continue. So now he will go to the software, okay, and then we will begin, or we will log in. So now we will go and type the password again, and locally we'll log in locally. So now it will take a little bit of time, but we can pass it real quickly. So now we will log in, and here we can see that the Firefox is again appearing. We have uninstalled it, and if we go to the programs and features, we will see that all the softwares will return back. So let's wait and see if we open. And actually there is also here a surprise. The control panel, we have already put it on the desktop before taking the image. Okay, so sorry, you have taken the image before having the control panel desktop, the control panel icon appearing on desktop. So here he has also removed the control panel icon. So this means that the image is successful. So let's wait and see if we can see more thoroughly. So now what we have done here, sorry, again, so sorry, let's go back. Now I need to revert back. I will take my snapshot, okay, and return back before imaging, because here I will make another restore image process through something called Windows reset image. So here I am returning back my snapshot because I need to revert all what I have done. So why I'm doing this? Because I will use another method how to create a recovery partition and make a recovery image using the Windows system or the Windows software. not through using a third-party software. This will be discussed in the upcoming video with God will. So now he is restoring the virtual machine state, so we can wait for a moment. He will restore the machine state. Okay, so now it is already restored. Okay, everything is back to normal. Now we will shut down the PC, and then we will continue in the upcoming videos, God will, how to make the same process but not using a third party. Here we can see that, okay, everything is removed. Okay, the image is removed and everything is removed. So we will shut down the PC. Okay, and hope this video is informative for you all. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel to get feedback about the new videos, and to comment and share the video if you found it useful, and hope this video is informative for you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.